Be sure to cook. Today we're going to be doing meatball subs. We're going to do everything homemade. And I'm going to add a little Creole seasoning inside of there. It's going to give this a great stir. That guys, I am good to go. I hear you. Yes. Oh my God, that is wonderful. So that was about 4 to 5. I'm back. Bye. Welcome back to another episode of Be Sure to Cook. Today we're going to be making a red skin potato salad. So stay tuned and let's do this. Okay, here we go. We've got us some red potatoes. Why am I calling it red skin? Is because I'm going to leave the skin on these potatoes. And look at these. These are little potatoes, little red potatoes. Some of them are a little bigger, but we're going to be cutting that. Now, here's the most exciting thing. We are going to wash these up in a water bath, and we're going to put some salt in our water, and then we're going to boil these just like they are, whole, right after we get through giving these suckers a good bath. Now, why am I washing my potatoes? Why am I washing my potatoes? Because they come right out of the ground. They got lots of dirt on them. They've been handled by everybody. They've been going down this big chute, which they do rinse them, but they don't rinse them as good. Sometimes the people rinse these potatoes, and they rinse them. They think they rinse them good. They let them dry. They put them in the bag, but still, they with other potatoes that don't get rinsed good. Sometimes those big factories don't rinse them as thoroughly as you think they do. So I'm going to re-rinse them because look, you got little stems that are left on them. Nobody wants to have that in their potato salad. And you got some dirt that's still on them. So we're just going to get a couple of these. And don't forget, when I rinse these thoroughly and I take off all the imperfections like this here, which is still like the core of the, it's like a leaf or something that's on there. This is where it grows. And we got to dig all these out. And just think if I took these and just started to boil these just like and just cut these up and use them. You know, that's just nasty. I wash my vegetables. You don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to. But I recommend that you do. Okay, I got about a half teaspoon of salt, coarse salt. This could be sea salt or kosher salt. You can use regular iodine salt if that's all you have. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water into here just for right now because I want to cover these potatoes. I want this salt to dissolve inside this water. So I'm just going to stir this salt until it dissolves real quick into the water. I'm going to add my potatoes. I'm giving it a little bit of flavor. Most people don't add salt, but you know, guess what? You know, potatoes don't come seasoned, and I want that water to be just a little salt. That's why I'm adding a half teaspoon of salt. Okay, now that's completely salt. You know, just do it your way if you want. This is my way. I'm going to start adding these clean potatoes into this little salt water. And then I just want to cover these up until the water is covered over the potatoes. And I want to put these on medium and let this boil. And I want those skins to stay nice. So that's about 3 or 4 cups of water. On the stove it goes on a medium simmer boil. And that's the potato that I also cut. You know, the stuff that was on there didn't look good. So I just peel that off. That'll be great. Put this on the stove In a separate pot, I'm going to add some salt, lots of salt to my water, covering these eggs up with water until the top, just like I did the potatoes, and I'm going to let these boil until they are done. And I'm doing a hard-boiled egg. Okay, I have some green onions that I'm going to have to chop, and I'm going to have to wash, and I got some celery. So let's start getting those out, and let's start rinsing those. Okay, I'm going to cut these off because these got all bent up in the bag when I got them out of the store. I kind of wrapped them up a little too tight. I'm cutting off the ends. You never need the ends of these, so you can cut off a big chunk. I did cut off a big chunk of these. These are going to go into the wash. Here's some celery heart that I have. Oh, I love this. I love it when it gets down in the middle of this celery. I think it tastes much better. I think it's where all the good flavor comes from here. And then I just want to clean this up here. Okay, and I'm going to clean this up. Okay, I got a comment on the show last week that, I did want to address. They asked me, why come I use old vegetables out of my refrigerator to cook with instead of throwing them in the garbage? Well, let me explain. These vegetables that I'm using are not old. I do a lot of shows. Now, I might do 5 sets of shows in one day. So I would get the vegetables and I would buy them from the store, and I would do the show and cook with some of these vegetables. Then about an hour later, I'd be doing another show using the same vegetables if it requires these same vegetables with my show. The same vegetables, I use them over and over. So these vegetables that I'm using, if you see them in a Ziploc bag, or if you see them in any type of like Reynolds wrap or any kind of wrap that I put these vegetables in, these vegetables are the vegetables I've gotten for all the shows that I'm doing. So I use some of the same vegetables maybe in all my shows or some of my shows, but I do use quite a bit of celery, onions, green peppers, red bell peppers, regular onions. Now, mushrooms might be different, but I do use them. And if I do more than one mushroom or whatever on a show, it could be within that same day. So don't think these are old vegetables. They are new. They just used for many different shows, which I do more than one show a day. So just think about it. You can still use it. I wouldn't want to throw anything away when I just got it. So I just want to address that. Now I am going to get to washing these vegetables. Okay, so I'm going to cut these down in a thin slices. Why? Because we want this to be super thin in potato salad. You don't want real thick onions, green onions, because this gives it the color and the appearance of deliciousness. So I just want a hint of green onions in there. Not. Okay, so I have a dry paper towel, and I'm making sure I get all excess water off the celery heart sticks, because you don't want all that water being in. Celery makes a little water anyway, so I want that dry. And then what I'm going to do, you remember I cut off the first and got rid of all that. Then I took my blade, potato peeler, and I kind of peeled all of that off. So now I'm going to do is I want it cut really thin. But actually, guys, you can actually take this and you can put this in a food processor, or you can put this in a food processor where you can make really thin slices. Or you can make chunky slices, or you can puree it like I do, squeeze all the juice out of there. That's my relish that I use. But I didn't want to use relish today. I wanted to cut it really thin and get a hint of real thin. I'm talking about this. I'm cutting this. You can see through that. Look at that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, here we are. Going in, trying to check our potatoes. Making sure, and they're fork tender. It don't take that long to cook these at all. nice and fork tender. Okay, I'm going to take these off. You just want to take a knife and make sure you can go right through them. And if you can, we're going to take those off. Take those off of the stove and let them cool down. All right. And I'm going to, now if these are too long for you, you can just run your knife through them. But I just want to see that beautiful look when I put that in there. Okay, this also is going to go to the side. We're going to clean up here, and then we're going to put this in the refrigerator, and we're going to get ready for our next step. Okay, now we getting together with our ingredients. Make sure you get some really good mayonnaise. You can get any kind of mayonnaise you want, but your favorite mayonnaise or any kind. So you need some good mayonnaise. We're going to be using about a cup and one and 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. So here's my cup of mayonnaise, and I have to get it all out because you know how some people just leave half of the ingredients in there. Well, it's not a cup if you don't get it all out. That's a cup, and this is my 1/4 cup. You know, it might be some extra, sauce, but you want to keep that extra sauce when you make it, because when it's that extra sauce in there, sometimes you make potato salad and you'll mix it up, and then you'll come back after it's been in the refrigerator and you go, oh my God, why is it so dry? Leave a little bit of this extra. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator. Okay, so I got 1 and 1/4 cups of mayonnaise. I like to kick mine up a little bit. I got 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And you don't have to use the whole 1/4 teaspoon if you just want to sprinkle, or you don't have to use it at all if you just don't like garlic. I do. It gives it something different. A lot of people don't, what is that inside of there? It's a little bit of something, I don't know what it is. And half the time what it is something that they don't know, and that's a little kick, All right, so the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. And usually a lot of people use the paprika, on top, which we do. But in that dressing, it gives it a little flavor that it's like, wow, that is a great flavor that I'm getting. Okay, there's that paprika in there. Half teaspoon of Mrs. Dash blend. I want to make sure I said that right, because I've been just saying Mrs. Dash lately, and nobody's know what kind of Mrs. Dash it is, and it's blend. And I use that because it's got all different types of seasonings in that. And then you want to use 1/4 teaspoon of dill, because guess what? Dill's kind of strong, guys. Dry dill, if you have fresh, you can, but dry dill is a little strong for me, so 1/4. 1/4 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Why am I doing 1/4? Because this is a little strong. Okay, now I'm going to start mixing all of this together, and make sure you mix very well and combine all those seasonings together inside that mayonnaise. Okay, now look at all that flavor in there. That's good flavor, but only thing that we need with that flavor is we're going to need a little sweetness. But before we put our little sweetness in, we've got some great roasted red bell peppers. Now these roasted red bell peppers, we don't have to do a lot, for the simple fact is they already in strips. Look at that. So I'm just going to lay some down in here. And I want the roasted in there and everything. That's what makes this good. So you need a couple of these in here. You're just going to throw those around in there. And we're just going to let all that flavor get in there. Look at that. Oh, now we're going to need that celery we're going to throw in there. Okay, so we're going to throw a little of the celery in here. Put as much as celery that when you cut up as you want it, because that celery means a lot. Okay, you want a teaspoon, 3 teaspoons of sugar, either one. You know, try off with 1 teaspoon at a time, stirring it, giving that little taste to make sure it's sweet enough for you. It might be too sweet for you, so you can just probably get off with 1 or 2 teaspoons. But if you need that 3rd teaspoon, great. Now, if you're using not regular, okay, after I drain the potatoes, I let them sit, let the water get off of them, then I put them in the refrigerator and let them sit in a cold, right? I'm going to go ahead and cut these potatoes. See, nice and tender inside. These might be a little bit too big, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut these in 4s. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to put these. Okay. I'm going to continue to keep doing these in 4s. I want nice potatoes, and I'm breaking them up because I don't want them to stick. Then I'm going to take my egg and I'm going to quarter these. Throwing these inside here as wedges. If you don't like the egg, you do not have to do it as in wedges. Oh, I hate that because I wanted to, but this is all going to get stirred in big wedges. Great. We're going to add some more celery to this. And just a little bit more of that celery. You can add whatever. We're going to add a little bit of this. Then we're just going to try not to break up any of our potato salad. Toss those with our egg. And we need a big bowl because you just want to toss this. Because you don't want to break this up. You don't want to do no such thing. And you want to use, if you want more eggs, you can use as many eggs as you want. Little green onions in there. And let's also toss these green onions around a little bit. And we're only adding a little bit into the salad. And then we're also going to add some at the end when we do our presentation. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to plate this inside my dish. Wonderful. Making sure I get all of this gathered in here. Okay, I got a little of the garnish that I've already have in here, but just to make it look really super nice, I'm just going to add a couple of green onions more just on top. Don't want to overwhelm it. Those red peppers, I'm just going to add a little bit more on top. For beautiful decoration. Okay, now here it is. This is my red skin potato salad. I added a little bit of red bell pepper to it, roasted red bell pepper, and a little bit more of green onions on top. I barely put any inside of it. And here it is. Great presentation for anything that you're having, family over, yourself, guests, whoever. Okay. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope you all enjoyed this red skin potato salad. You will when you make it for your family, because guess what? You did this. You and me. We did this together. And I hope you come back so we can do many, many more dishes. Hey, see you next time. Bye.